So here's the products I'm working with. This is the putty. Polyester polysilk is what it's called. This is from Fiberglass Supply Depot, located in Fort Pierce, Florida. And I also have the polyester resin and the methyl ethyl ketone peroxide. This is tinted red for the putty. It makes the putty mixture, when you get it all mixed, it looks even. And then this is the methyl ethyl ketone for peroxide for the polyester resin, the liquid resin. Now this and this, also known as kicker, is the same. It's just this is tinted red. And again, this is from Fiberglass Depot, located in Fort Pierce. Got all my measuring cups here, gloves. I'm using a 3M respirator. And right now I've got all this stuff on my trailer parked next to my boat, so it's easy to get to. I've got mixers and stir sticks and pans and rollers and everything. If you think your stuff's not gonna stick, make sure you brush it in if there's any question at all. Rolling it won't push it in like a brush will, so get in there with a brush for that first coat. So here's a shot of the bottom of the boat and what it looked like when I got the old deck out. It was quite dirty. Of course, years of debris in there, and it had to be cleaned out. I went at it with a very stiff brush, got everything broke loose, and vacuumed it out real good. Once I got all the loose stuff out of the cracks and crevices of the bottom of the boat, I noticed that the surface of the glass that was there was really chalky. You run your finger on it and you look at it, and you can see that chalk on your finger. So I kept brushing at it until I got most of it out, and then there were a couple of areas that I hit with a sander and got that cleaned up, and then I checked everything for soft spots. Now these were the supports for the other decking, and I would imagine because of this fiberglass overhang right here, that was all fiberglass at one point, but this is really thin. This is about a little more than 1/8 of an inch thick. So, you know, being that this was a production boat out of a factory, it was probably thin on mass production. But these are solid all the way. Those are solid. So I'm going to put some resin on those. These are pretty solid. I'm going to put some resin on those and firm them up. And I might even put some poly putty, fibered putty in the holes just to make sure it's solid. I'll probably take the putty and go around it as well and shore it up. And then I'm going to measure the height of this to this and get something of that distance like that, and so it's even. I don't want the deck sagging at all. It'll pull it loose from the side when I attach it with fiberglass. It has that possibility, so we're going to eliminate that and just put a run of wood across these. So I got my boards together, got them cut to the length I want them, got them put in place. I started taking fiberglass cloth, this 18 pound, and placing that underneath the boards so I could see what it would take to fill up the gap with glass. And of course you're going to lose a little space because once you hit it with the resin, the glass is going to compress a little bit. So I am going to glass those floor supports that aren't that sturdy that need a little extra sturdiness to them. I took another piece of wood that was cut the width of the boat and put it on top of the stringer board that I'm going to use, and that will let me know that that stringer board that's going to be part of the floor support will be even with where I'm going to run the board, so there won't be any gap. When you step down, you don't want it to give way any, so it'll be nice and solid with a firm foundation underneath the deck board when I put it in. The next thing I did was take the layers of glass that I had laid out over the floor supports or deck supports, and layer by layer added resin to those and got those glued into place. And then I put a coating of resin on both sides of the boards, just made sure it was really good and covered, and put those in place. I did all those boards just like that, one by one, just went through there and got those all resined in, fiberglassed in, and those floor supports shored up so they won't give way at all. They're nice and solid. I really like the products that I got from Fiberglass Supply Depot. The glass and the putty both set up really hard, and they were easy to work with. The putty is already fibered, so just mix it up and go. If you decide to go with the products from Fiberglass Supply Depot, and if they send you a card, their business card, on the back of it has a catalyst concentration for mixing the hardener with the resin. The hardener is a methyl ethyl ketone peroxide, and in what I was doing, I used 1.25%. So if I mixed half a pint of resin, I would add 3.12 cc's or 3.12 milliliters, because milliliters is the same. And I had no problems. Everything hardened right up just like it was supposed to. Mixing the hardener with the putty is a little different. They recommend that you only use 1%, 1.25%, or 1.5% of hardener on the putty. And again, I used the 1.25%, and it came out fine, hardened right up.